of the rude world, heard in the day, led by the moonlight, have all passed away. Beautiful dream, my queen of my song, list while I woo thee with soft melody. Gone are the cares of life's busy throng. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Evermore Paranormal Show. My name is Jim Sorrell. Your host of the show tonight is Suzanne Sorrell. Her sidekick is Kirkpatrick, and she's here with me tonight. And we hope you enjoy the show.
Good evening, sweet spirits. Welcome to the show. If you've been watching, you know that the Evermore Paranormal Show is a variety talk show, and our focus is on the paranormal and ghosts. This is our first season, and tonight is episode 9. If you'd like to watch the first 8 episodes, you can go to the YouTube channel Stairway East, and that's Stairway and a space East. Our show is an hour-long show. We're filmed, but we're streaming live. As you know, if you've been watching the show, the studio is haunted, and we have some reports of paranormal activity. We are also about 5 minutes away from the Manassas National Battlefield Park, where there were 2 major battles during the Civil War and massive casualties. So we have some equipment running. Jim, who you just met, is the announcer, and Ghost Bro, we call him the Ghost Bro, because he's usually monitoring equipment and just looking around, surveilling the place as we're doing the show. And we check in with him to see if anything is happening that could be paranormal. Also, over at the table, you just met Kat. Kat is my best friend of 13 years. She's my sidekick, and she'll be asking some questions and comments. And of course, I'm Suzanne Sorrell. I'm the owner of Evermore Paranormal and the host of the show. I also want to make note that we are at Stairway East Rehearsal Studio. Behind the cameras, we have Jazz. One day, maybe you'll see her. We also have Lucille, who is the stage manager, and she does the lights and the props and set, and she's also training to do the other parts of the show, the audio and the director part. So Mike is the director, and Pat is doing the audio. He's the audio engineer. So tonight, we have 2 pretty well-known guests, and that is Stephen K. Barry and Pamela Barry. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So anyway, I was going to turn over to talk to you. I was just looking at the camera. And so you guys came from Gettysburg area, and we appreciate you coming because I know it's like about 100 miles or so.
Oh, it was a beautiful ride, though.
Yeah?
She got lost 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, with the GPS, I know. You can get lost. Well, I heard your trip down to Scares That Cares when you were stuck in the 95 South was crazy.
It was. He was driving. I texted you the whole time, so you kept me occupied.
I know one time you said we almost had an accident, and I was like, oh. You're like, I'm so glad Steve's driving.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to start off by asking you how each of you got involved in the paranormal separately. You know.
My first paranormal experience was as a child. I'm Native American, and my grandmother used to sleep with a loaded gun under her pillow. And my grandmother had seen the same apparition that night, and she said to me, Pam, don't be getting up in the middle of the night. I just might shoot you. And from there on, I was involved in the paranormal. I have been paranormal before paranormal was cool.
Yeah.
Tell about all the police that came to your house for that gun incident.
Is that real or is he joking?
No.
I know he's
Silly.
joking. See, I know it. She's like, what story was that? And so you were experiencing the paranormal. Your grandmother was?
Yeah, I come
Also?
from, my mother was psychic, and I come from a long line. I'm a healer, Reiki master now. We own the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange. So now we're working at our passion.
Right. How about you? How did you get into the
I
paranormal?
was chased by a ghost.
Yeah? How, were you?
No, I wasn't, seriously.
No?
No, my mother got me into it, actually.
Your mother?
Yeah, my mother used to do grave rubbings. You know, they used to put like, I don't know, with the tissue paper or something over the gravestone, and they'd rub like a pencil over it. And we were in a graveyard one time, we actually heard a voice tell us to get out. So that's what actually got me into it. And that was back in, it's like late 70s, early 80s. So I've been doing it since.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did the two of you meet or get?
We-
Was it paranormal related?
It was.
Yes.
Actually, we knew each other from afar, and then we both investigated the Wilson College with the paranormal after party, and from there on, we've been together ever since.
So, you guys have any questions over there? No?
So your mother was an investigator?
No, my mother was intuitive. She knew things were going to happen. She would say, Pam, get the phone. I don't feel like talking to ... And I'd pick the phone up and I'd say, how did you know that? I mean, this was in the 1970s, way before caller ID. She
Did
just
you
knew
get her
things.
abilities? Do you have psychic abilities?
Yes, Pam does, yeah.
I know you. I didn't know how much, but everybody seems to have some psychic ability. How about you?
Yeah, ever
somewhat
since
now.
ever since his near death. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't have it before.
Oh wow. Wow.
So,
So anyway, the two of you met, and they're newlyweds, by the way.
yeah.
Yay,
Just
May
what?
28th.
May 28th. So what about 2 months, 10 weeks?
Yep.
Something like
Newlyweds. Can you believe it? Yeah.
So as long as it's only been.
That's
Why
it.
does it seem like a
know.
lot longer than that?
I know. It seemed, you just meant to be. So you had a dream, the both of you opened the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange.
Absolutely.
Along with another partner, yes.
So tell me all about the store and all the different things that you do there and
We
sell.
are-
And
We're on 2 acres of undisturbed battlefield. We are the largest paranormal store in Gettysburg. We are your one-stop ghost shop. I'm sorry. We have a small little Reiki room. We sell some metaphysical things. We sell a lot of paranormal equipment that's new on the scene that other people don't have. Steve?
We get a lot of different. The way you just did that, I mean, it threw me off. Yeah, we get a lot of the new equipment that comes out. We have equipment that other stores don't have at the moment.
that's what I was going to ask you. What are some of your equipment distributors that you have? that you're exclusive to you?
Paratronics, Paranologies, Ghostware Pro, Phantom Light, Gotcha Ghost,
BMJ?
BMJ, yeah. Trying to think, I don't want to forget anyone because I'll be hung here.
And then we have On Angel's Wings, Marty and Marcia. We have Silver Broomstick.
Yeah, Deadly Grounds Coffee.
Deadly Grounds.
I hear that's good.
Oh, the coffee's great. Even though I don't drink coffee, but I hear everyone
I
saying
don't
it's great.
either. Do you
It's
drink?
amazing.
You drink coffee?
I drink like 2 pots a day. Tom
You can't
has
live
me
without
hooked.
it.
Another thing you guys do at the store that nobody else does, at least I don't think so, is rent equipment.
We do.
Yes, we do.
And that's a great idea. I was going to do that with my store actually, but I never got. I was doing it all by myself, and I just
Do you
I
know
never
why
got
we
the
rent
program
equipment?
going. I was going to rent equipment.
I said, do you know why we rent it? The reason why we rent it is because a lot of people go out and they go to Amazon. Some of the mistakes people do. They go to Amazon, they say, oh, I see it on TV, I want to buy that piece of equipment. They buy that piece of equipment, they get it home, and they go, one, sometimes it doesn't work. Now they're trying to find that guy that sold it to them. And then 2, you get to test it when you rent it, see if you like it, and if you don't like it, you don't have to buy it.
Right.
When you go on Amazon, you buy it, and now you got it, you're stuck with it. Now you're putting
Right.
it on some site trying to get rid of it, and
Oh,
you
I
lose
know.
your shirt because they're only going to give you a dime on a dollar.
Plus, Steve makes sure
So-
that everyone knows how to operate the equipment before they leave the store. So he
Another
gives them-
thing I do too is, I'm sorry, another thing you do is we bring cameras in. You know, we tell people if they're looking for a light for the camera, we tell them to bring their camera into the store. Then we hook a light up to it. And this way we see which the best light for their
Right.
camera. Because not every camera works with the same light. And that's another problem I see happen out there. People go out there, they buy the light, they go home. Oh, I got to return this, doesn't work with my camera. Here, it's a one-shot deal. You go there, you try it, we fit it for your camera, and then you go home with it. That's another thing. We try making sure everyone goes home with something. We're not most likely a drop shipping store. We rather have it. 'Cause when people come to Gettysburg, they want to use their equipment.
Right.
They don't want to wait until they get home and then the vacation's over. So what am I going to do?
Yeah, and they rent something, and then they come, then they want to buy it or
Right.
buy more stuff. They get
Right.
hooked, and they
Right.
want to buy all
Or
these
they might
gadgets.
not want to buy it.
Yeah.
Or they might not. Yeah.
And everything's guaranteed in our store. You have a problem with it, as long as you didn't drop it, run it over the car, or throw it in water, we're going to replace it. So
So what do you usually charge to rent?
it's usually $4 an hour to rent a piece of equipment.
I should start charging you, Kat. She's always borrowing my K2. Actually, I need to get her a K2 sometime. She doesn't have any equipment. She's
We
like,
make
I
it
think my house is haunted.
Well, you think about it, people come there and they're spending a lot of money on ghost tours and stuff like that. So we try to make it as cheap and reasonable for them so that they can enjoy their vacation without going.
Has anybody just run off with your equipment
No.
or done,
No.
because
Nope.
that's,
We've never had that
No.
problem.
Matter of fact, we let people take it for longer and they put it in our mailbox. We're old school. We like to be on the honor system.
right. Well, I was going to say.
And the mailbox is locked, right, hon?
Yes, yes. I was thinking, can you edit that? No. So, yeah, I was thinking when we first came in, and I just met you guys in April. And when we came in, we didn't know you, and we were just customers. And your motto is,
Come in as a customer, but you're going to leave as a friend.
and I can vouch for that. I mean, the second that I met these people, I knew that they were like the most genuine, sweet, honest people. And like I said, we clicked within a minute, 5 minutes. We're like, oh, we were meant to meet.
Absolutely.
You have to spend time with your customers when they come in. You got to steer and go over everything you can.
We were there like 4 hours.
You have to.
They had to
because
kick us out.
I don't want anyone to leave the shop without knowing how that piece of equipment works
Right.
before they go home.
Oh yeah.
SB11's a big radio. There's a lot of buttons on it, and a lot of them can't figure it out. And now when I show them, like I say, hey, I got the SB7, I got the SB11, they go, I don't want the SB11. It looks too complicated. But once I show them how it works, they want it. They want
Right.
to walk out with it because now they know how it works.
What is your favorite type? What is your favorite equipment, or do you want to say? Not brand, but a piece of equipment. Is there something that your
Phonopod.
favorite?
Phonopod and recorder.
Is that the one you're
Right over
messing
there,
with
yes.
earlier?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to get one of those myself because it really enhances EVPs. You
Right.
can hear them.
It does.
I mean, I can hear. I train my ears and I can hear them, but sometimes you can't quite make out what they're saying. And actually, you had an EVP with you that you caught in the store.
Yes.
Was it using one? Was it using that?
We
or
were in
another
a
piece?
store, this is about 4 weeks ago, about a month ago. We were sitting in the store, and people kept coming to one of our counters and saying, we're getting touched. Like, I'm getting touched. And I'd be talking to them, showing them a piece of equipment, and all of a sudden I see someone go like this, and I go, were you just touched? And they go, yeah, something just grabbed me here. I had
know
4
what
people that day do that. And then Anthony, our partner, came in the store that night, and he arrived a little late, and we were shutting down the store, and we had some friends in there. And he comes up to the counter, he's telling me how his day went, and all of a sudden he looked like this. I go, what's the matter? He goes, something just pulled on my shirt.
I
I
can't
said,
wait.
you're the 5th person that told me that, since,
Right.
all day today. So we decided, let's take a K2 meter, and we set it on the glass cabinet, and we took this recorder right here, and we put it out there. And you're going to hear one of the guests that were in the room asking questions. You're going to hear him say, do you know the South lost the war? And then he says, I think he says something like, does that bother you or something? Then you're going to hear something. So I'm going to play it right now. Take this off.
I know. I heard it, and it's loud.
Spatial movement. Why not spot? Maybe you have to make it a spatial movement. If you think about spatial energy and you think about dimensions, and you think about it being like a veil, how much energy it takes to cross that veil to make a physical manifestation. It's a lot. It's a lot. Do you need to draw energy from anything else?
That's Anthony.
Plenty of things here. Battery. There's a bunch of batteries there. Lights.
Here it comes.
Also didn't see the lights up. Did you know that the South lost the war? Are you upset about that? Yeah, I had a feeling that you might have. Wow. It's okay.
The wow is, right?
The second wow is me.
And the first wow is the spirit.
I'm talking about the K2. It pinged and it stayed at red. And usually a K2 goes bloop, 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 bloop.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going, wow. Now, I didn't hear the EVP until we played it back. So it was just validating that there was something,
Amazing.
Yeah, he
amazing.
said, we won WoW. And what we think it is a Union soldier that died before the war had ended and found out just now that they won. And he was like so excited, he screamed.
Yeah.
So,
I think when we were talking earlier, you definitely, hopefully you'll do the event on October 1st in your store. And out in the back too, or wherever at the barn if you can.
Yeah.
That'd be
Vulture
cool.
should be gone out
Yeah.
of there by now.
Poison Ivy will be gone
That'd be
too.
Yeah.
cool. So what kind of events are you right now? What kind of ghost hunting events are you guys sponsoring?
Well,
Your
we're
store.
doing the Daniel Lady Farm. That's restoring our history. The money goes back to restore the Daniel Lady Farm. It's $40 a ticket. Our next event with that is September 24th.
I'm not sponsoring them, I'm actually just going to them. I'll be doing the Leitner Farm, right? Did I say that right? The Leitner Farm
September
in
10th.
Gettysburg, September 10th through the 11th. And then I'll be September 17th with John Zaffis and Brian Cano, Gene Snitsky, and Rick
Boom,
Savage.
baby.
Yeah, Rick Savage.
Boom, baby, right?
And Scott Wiley at the Boyertown
Boyertown.
Museum.
wow.
And we just did Brian Cano, Haunts of the Baltimore Pike, which was amazing. Brian Cano is such an amazing gentleman. We had a really good time.
Really nice guy.
Really
Really nice. I
smart.
loved working
Awesome.
with Brian. I had a great time working with him.
Yeah, amazing guy.
I like some of his ideas he has and the way he investigates. I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've met him. I haven't investigated with him, but I've watched him on Haunted Collector, and yeah, he seems to know. He thinks out of the box.
He's
He does.
smart. Brian's
You know?
very smart.
And
Trying to think.
personable.
Yeah.
Yes, very. You guys have your own show. It's called What's Out There. Can you tell me more about that and where people can watch it and when the next show is?
Go ahead.
It's live paranormal. We live stream. Our next one is in 2 weeks. We're every other Monday, and it's Anthony and Dina, and they do evenings with Annabelle. So we're going to have them on our show, and we're going to have some surprises.
We always give away something on our show.
Oh yeah, yeah. So when is that again? Is that last Monday? You guys didn't.
Right.
Yeah,
have it.
we had emergency.
So it's gonna be
because
2
the
weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to shout out to Anthony or anything?
Yeah, Anthony, I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
We miss you.
We
love
miss you. We know you're home, and things will just get better, buddy.
We love you, Murray.
And also, how about Kendra as well? And Kendra
Yes,
and her
Kendra, we
husband.
love you. Hope Robert's doing well. Love and light.
So you also have a Reiki room, and I
do.
want to hear more about that. I want to hear how did you get into that? And
I actually experienced a healing. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia years ago, so I had some chronic pain, and I just discovered Lilydale and got my healing mastery from Lilydale, and just started my journey. Tom Kratzley was the best teacher I've ever had, and Lilydale is my favorite place on earth.
wow, how long do you have to train? Like Lily
I
Dale,
trained
did
for
you
a couple
go?
years.
Really? Do you go like for seminars or something?
I went
and
to get
just-
my healing mastery. My very last part was like an intense week course. I haven't been there this year. I miss it. It's a town of healers and psychics. It's been there since the mid-1800s.
I've never been there. I'd like to go sometime.
Where is that at?
Lilydale, New York. It's right
New
over
York.
the border.
Okay.
And I saw you post one time that Rick Savage finally let you do Reiki on him.
That
and he
was
a
that was a
Yes.
great day.
convert, yeah.
Yep.
He signed my metal detector too that day.
Yep.
Yeah, and was that the one where you signed his car or something while he
Sure.
was in there?
He really did.
You're still alive?
It was a joke.
I saw that. I'm like, uh-oh. I know, Rick is such a sweet guy. I mean, well, he probably doesn't want people to know that. No, he's really tough. But he really is, and he's a smart guy, too. Actually, was hoping to have him on the show tonight, but he couldn't come, so. So, you've done Reiki on various people, and do you take sessions?
We do. I take appointments because I'm kind of in and out. Sometimes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm still at the orphanage for the tour center and Ghostly Images, which I love. So I usually like to have appointments. Walk-ins are okay as long as I'm there. And I also do angel card readings.
And
How
you
long
also
does
have
a session last?
Reiki or angel cards?
Angel cards.
Angel cards, about a half an hour. I like to take my time.
She read me the first time I met her. She read me.
Yeah,
the
Pam's
angel
not one of
cards.
those fast ones with the cards. She takes her time, goes thorough
Yeah.
over everything in the cards.
So is it like tarot cards?
Kind of, but not. There's not a card that ends anything.
Uh-huh.
If there's a card, it's just a life lesson, and
Okay.
it gives some answers and some healings.
Okay.
And as for the Reiki, about how long does that take?
I do 2 different sessions. I do a 15-minute or a half an hour session, and it's $15 for 15 minutes or $30 for a half hour. But I have been known to do it free.
I know, you keep telling me you're going to do me, but I will pay you. But I need something.
No, I give back. I just feel like I'm blessed to be where I'm
Right.
at and in the space and place that I'm at, and I definitely.
We love giving back, and we just did Scares That Cares in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Yeah,
We're going to be
I saw
doing
that.
that again next year.
Can anybody do that? Because I'd like to be part of that. You know,
Joe
a vendor
Ripple.
or something.
Just get a hold
Yeah,
of Joe
Joe
Ripple
Ripple.
on there and
Okay.
speak to him, tell him you'd like to help out. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's looking for volunteers and
Yeah.
everything else down there.
Because we're Virginians, but it's still about how many hours?
About
to
3
William-
hours for
about
us.
3 hours of
They
Williamsburg.
raised $10,000 for
3
each
families.
family. So
Wow.
each family got $10,000.
A critically
Amazing.
ill
That's
child,
nice.
a woman with breast cancer, and a burn victim.
Yep.
That's
I saw
great.
the woman. I saw a video of the woman.
Wasn't that touching?
Yeah, and I guess was that the woman with breast cancer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Has she gotten treatment or anything?
Yes,
This
yes.
is going to help because I know
Yeah.
when I was a breast cancer, I'm a breast cancer survivor, but if we didn't have insurance, oh my goodness! I mean, it was just the radiation alone was about $20,000.
Wow.
We had to pay. We had to pay 20. I had to pay 20 a session out of pocket. But when you get the bills for these hospitalizations and the stuff that I went through, yeah, it's amazing that I don't know how
Wow.
people can do it if they don't have insurance.
And
It's
now
outrageous.
right on our counter, we have one of those empty water jugs, and we put the Scares That Cares, and we're going to try to fill that jug and give that as one of our donations.
Well, we'll help out any way we can
Customers
too.
been coming in,
Yeah.
just dropping
That's
dollars.
great.
We've already
Just
got like
Yeah.
that
I
much
told
of it
Joe I'm
filled.
not walking in that store without that
It's
thing filled.
heartfelt.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good.
So I'll get that Reiki sometime from you because I
Absolutely.
definitely. And when you mentioned that you've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I swear that I have fibromyalgia, and I tried to get the doc. You know, it's one of those things where they will not take me seriously. You know, they try to eliminate. I thought I had Lyme disease, all these other things, and they've eliminated it.
Right.
But they will not test me. They haven't tested me yet for fibromyalgia, but I think I may have it too. And that Reiki would probably be really helpful.
Right. Then I have a line of
Because of the
Reiki
pain.
water where you can drink your Reiki.
Yeah, that's what I need some of that too. I'll get some of that
Relax,
when I come
recharge, renew.
in. So Steve and Pam, but Steve, he's like the superstar here in front of the camera for Paranormal After Party.
Yes.
Tell me all about that. How did it get started? And how long you been on? I know you don't have to go into too much detail. I know you're smart. I know how I got started, but you can skip some of that detail.
All right.
But yeah, tell
Four
me
of us
about it.
came together, put it that way. Mm-hmm. 4 of us came together, and I believe Flip thought of the name, came up with the name. I'm 99% positive. Flip's really good with names. He came up with the generic black shirt group and the Paranormal After Party logo. We just all got together because we were actually from another show, and we decided to start our own show, and that's how it came together because we all left the one show and came together.
And you actually have a nickname. You all have nicknames. And yours is?
Scooby.
And after the dog, after the dog or what?
Yeah, after
Did
the
you
dog,
pick
yeah.
it or just how did that?
They got actually on the old show was Doc.
Uh-huh.
So because I always carried like aspirin and stuff with me, so everyone said, "Go hit Steve." Go hit Steve. He always has something for pain or something like that. So
And so you're in front of the camera almost every episode.
yes,
And I know Pam. I've seen her on a little bit, on camera. But you're also
I'm
behind the
behind.
camera.
I love it. It's a totally different perspective of investigating, and I absolutely love it. I adore it.
she does a very good job.
Oh yeah, I was watching an episode the other day. Like I said, I love that you guys, have a sense of humor as well. You're serious. I mean, I
you
know
gotta-
you're serious about the equipment and the investigating, but have fun. It
When we
makes
start-
it entertaining to watch, and
When
it's
we-
addictive. By the way, if you watch one episode of Paranormal After Party, you won't be able to stop. I mean, it was hard for me. I want to go home and watch it tonight.
Our first episode was a big party when we first aired, and we got ripped apart. People were ripping us apart, saying, "Oh, they're just joking. They're mocking out the paranormal field." All right, so we kept going. We said we're not changing, and I guess I can put this out there. When we film, if someone farts or something, we leave it in there, right? Well, then I started watching.
real, right?
Honestly, I started watching Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters, and I see them same thing. They're leaving it in there now. Someone passes gas, and they left it, and they're all laughing about it. So it started. It actually, see. I think
We're gonna leave that in there.
I think I know. It's your chair. Trust me.
That was perfect timing. What you asked.
I think we had to start changing our ways because all the shows were getting just
They get
the
boring.
same thing. And,
yeah.
and people were telling us that, I hate going there. People going in a room, sitting in a room, asking the same thing. Tell me your name. I like when they say, "Are you dead?"
You never know. Yeah.
No,
you
they're
gotta ask
alive.
them,
They're computer.
like, what's your favorite ice cream and things, things that they really want to talk. They do. One time I asked a question, you never know what they're going to say. I was at some place and I said, where is your favorite place to ghost hunt? I mean, not ghost hunt. Where's your favorite place to hide is what I said. And I thought it was going to be this room, that room. What did they say? I got an EVP in the dark. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I didn't expect that. I expected, the office, the closet, whatever.
Right.
So you never know what kind of response you're going to get. So you're on your 7th?
We're on season 7 now.
Is this the beginning of season 7?
Beginning of it.
How many episodes? Like 80 something?
I think we're
80?
close to 80. Yeah, we're
Wow.
close to it.
So
I
tell
don't know the
me.
exact number, but
So tell me, you guys are not only are you on the web, but you actually are on
we're on Cox TV stations down here in Virginia.
I need
think
your
almost all of
autograph,
them.
by the way. I want to sign yours too.
We're on Cox. We're on Fox 43 now in Gettysburg. We're on Fox 56 up in Scranton. We're on CW networks on both areas, and we're
MyNet?
on MyNet TV. We're also on White Rose, I believe, in
Out of York.
Maryland. No, Maryland.
Maryland.
Wow. So you're becoming a bigger and bigger celebrity.
We
then.
keep moving down the coast.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll be in Florida. And
No Comcast? We are Comcast around this area.
do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they will. You are in some Virginia spots, right? There are some Virginia places
Cox
that we
is
can
All
watch.
Fairfax
Cox.
County.
Yeah, they're in Roanoke, wherever all the towns.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys had some fans down there in Williamsburg.
Yeah, we ran in there. We were down there with Bill Reap, and we were at the Walmart, and Bill decided to hop on this little kiddie's carousel and ride the horses, and he barely fit under it.
It was so
And-
funny.
And these
Yeah, I
two
saw
ladies pull up, and they're going,
We know you.
"I know you." And I never thought Virginia would know who we were, and they came.
Then
that's
they
when
looked, they were like, Steve Barry.
She goes,
Oh,
"There's Steve
yeah.
over
Did you
here."
give them your autograph or anything?
They didn't ask.
No.
No,
Okay.
it was more of they wanted a hug.
I know people. I have CDs out,
So
and
we
people
gave 'em
say,
hugs.
they say, "Oh, can I get your autograph?" I'm going. I don't ever. I just feel like if you want it, you'll ask for it. I don't really want to. But my CDs are sealed, so they have to unseal it for me to sign it. So I usually don't. But it just feels so strange signing things, But anyway, I wanted to ask you also about your haunted house, the house you live in.
Oh,
you
that's a
have
funny
some-
story. I'm gonna let Pam tell you about that one.
Okay.
I'll start it, and then you can. We bought this. But for one, I had my heart attack right as we're buying the house.
Okay.
Now I'm riding in the ambulance back, to the hospital. And I'm thinking I can't go now because I haven't even closed on this house yet. And where is she gonna go? If something happens to me. So anyway, we end up getting the house. I end up surviving. Right? We end up getting the house, and after we bought the house, our neighbors came over. And tell her what your neighbor said to you.
She goes, oh, that house has been on the market for about 3 years. We're like, yeah, we know. That house is haunted. There's a man that wears a flannel shirt in there, and we've seen him, and we were like, yes!
Yeah, right. It's like, wow, we got a bonus.
Yeah, our house was built in 1856, I believe.
So do you see this man? Have you seen him?
Oh, we've had a lot of stuff happen in our house.
Yeah.
We got good EVPs up there in the house already. I've seen stuff. We've seen them in the house already. Yeah.
Yeah,
to answer your
basement door
question,
opens and
It
closes.
opens by itself. And we were wondering why the basement door has a lock.
It has a lock, and there's no you
Way
can't
up
get
on
out of the
top.
basement.
Yeah,
Like,
so they lock it way up there so a kid can't even open it.
Yeah.
And that gets unlocked sometimes and the door is open. We don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was the scariest thing you encountered at the house?
I think Danny has more stuff happen than we do.
Yeah.
Like Danny keeps calling us. I'm surprised our phones are off right now, but she usually calls us when she's in the house by herself. Like it was just yesterday.
She was tapping and
she
knocking.
Goes, she heard
and-
banging on the air conditioner outside. And she goes, she showed me last night. She goes, someone's actually pounding. She was pounding on it. She goes, that's what it sounded like.
I was like, let the dog out. We have a huge Doberman.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so-
let the dog out.
I was gonna say,
not
you
gonna be
have
a
a bunch
person.
of dogs and stuff,
Yeah, we
right?
got a little dog.
Do they react to this stuff?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that'd be another place. you
His
guys
cage
can
was open
investigate
one
on.
time. We came home and he stays in a cage. And his cage was open one time. He wouldn't come out.
Yeah, he was just laying in the cage.
But his cage is facing the basement
he was
door.
like,
So I think, I don't know, he's
Sense
sees
something.
sensing something down in
Yeah.
the basement. I think whatever's in the house is in the basement.
don't know.
Because the guy that owned the house, the guy in flannel, he used to work down in the basement all the time. He was a plumber. So he
remember
had,
something got thrown at you that one time?
yeah, well, Scott got thrown something. He got a cork thrown at his back. He was walking through it. He opened a thing of wine. He opened it in the kitchen. He came back in the living room and started walking back towards the kitchen. And a cork hit him from the living room. He's like, I didn't bring the cork in the living room. So he had it hit him in the back. And then Jesse and them guys were upstairs and they had something thrown at him upstairs.
Then we saw something walking down the steps, so we were in the basement, and I said, Spirit, can you please validate that that was you? And there was that hose
Oh, that came out of nowhere. We don't even know where that came from. A
hose?
wash machine hose.
was thrown at him. I was like, all right, that's
I
all
want to come
I
over to your
need.
house sometime. Definitely.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
want to see those
went up-
portraits you were telling me about too.
I went up the staircase. This was about, a month and a half ago. I was going up the staircase to go up to our bedroom. And I was too lazy to turn the light on. So I just used my cell phone. And my dog is going up behind me. I got a little dog, a little Westie. And I'm going up the stairs. And all of a sudden, all I see is like legs and feet. And that's it. And all of a sudden, it was gone. And I thought it was Jesse or Danny standing on top of the stairs ready to scare me. So I went, "Blah!" And there was no one there. But I looked, and my dog
So
was
he was
going
the
up the
one
stairs.
scared.
She saw it too. She just stayed there. She wasn't going any further. But there was no one there. There was no one there
Man, I can't wait to come over there.
Are
and
you keeping a
check that out.
record of all these things?
in our head.
No, we should
for
probably.
the book? For the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mini books that you'll probably be writing, right? So, Steve, I would like to hear.
I'm actually looking for a ghostwriter to do my book.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Well, I think there are some people that do that in the field, like Marley. She's
Yeah.
a ghostwriter. I know that. Marley, Patrick Burns' wife.
Oh, okay.
We wrote it all down, but we're not authors, so I'm not. Yeah, she did good on her book.
Yeah, you wrote some.
I told
you
her she
wrote
should
some
do
part
it.
of a book.
I
and
did.
Yeah,
I wrote first chapter, about 70 pages.
yeah.
Pretty good.
Maybe you should publish that as part of your. What was that about, by the way? The part that you
My
submitted
story was about
at your house, was it?
no, it was
No.
about Buford Avenue. There's a bed and breakfast on Buford across from the General Lee's headquarters. And it was my time kind of in that house and in that General Lee's headquarters. It's kind of a combination.
Oh, okay. Well, Steve, I want to hear about your near-death experience. I want to hear about, what happened and the message you came back with.
Well, what
love to
happened
hear it all.
was, I'll tell everyone right now, if you have a cardiologist, get a good one, because you don't want to go to a bad one like I did. One, I had signs from it. October of 2014, I was going to the doctors, to the hospitals constantly because my legs were bothering me and my veins started popping in my legs. From the knee down to your ankle. Every vein in my leg would just pop out and then would dissipate and go away for a couple days and would come back and just pop out. And I was going to the hospital and they said to me, "You got varicose veins." I'm like, "I'm young. I don't have varicose veins." And I can see
I didn't even know men got them. I always thought it was women.
I knew
too.
I knew a vein would pop out once in a while maybe on you, but you're not going to pop them all. So, make a long story short, I went to 2 hospitals. They told me the same thing. They said I had restless leg syndrome and all this other stuff. And they ended up sending me I was sitting in my house and I started having palpitations. My heart was going pop, 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 and going off beat. So I called the ambulance, and they came and actually finally caught it on EKG in ambulance. So they took me to the hospital, and they said, "Oh, just take a baby aspirin and see a cardiologist." So they give me this cardiologist, which I don't want to mention because I don't want to have them come after me, maybe.
Yeah, that's not
But anyway, it was in New Jersey, I can tell you that much. And I went to them, and they put me through a stress test. Now, when they do a stress test, they put you on a treadmill, and you run, right? And then they lay you down once they get your heartbeat to a certain level, like 156 or something like that. And they do an ultrasound on your heart. So he tells me I failed the stress test, but I passed the ultrasound test to go home and take a baby aspirin, I'll be good. That was in October. So I did that. But meanwhile, I kept going back to the hospitals in November, December, showing them my legs, and they kept saying, "No, it's nothing, it's just restless leg syndrome." And, well, on March 31st, I noticed something, that if I ran in my house, my legs would go, the veins would just go right away. So I was showing Pam on FaceTime, and I was running through my house. I was jumping. My daughter thought I was crazy. I was running. I was jumping over coffee tables, and this was about 5 o'clock at night. And I said, "Look, look!" And I lift my leg up. I said, "Look, they're gone." I said, "Isn't that weird?" And she goes, "Yeah." And then my daughter yells to us and says, "Hey, listen, it's time to eat dinner." So all right. So I said goodbye to Pam on the phone. I'll call you back after dinner. Well, I start to eat, and I can't eat all of a sudden. For something wouldn't let me eat. I just couldn't eat. I felt nauseous, I couldn't eat. So I sat there. I said, "That's weird." So I got off my plate, and I went in my room, and I had a blood pressure monitor there. So I said, "Let me check my blood pressure, because I just don't feel right." So I checked it. It was 126/72, which I said,
Which is
"That's
good.
perfect."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was walking past my dresser, I saw baby aspirins up there. Chewable. They weren't chewables. They were solid baby aspirins, not the chewable, but they were 81s. So I took 2 of them, and I just swallowed them, just for the heck of it. And then I sat back down, and I went to go eat my dinner again. And I had mashed potatoes. I took 2 spoons for that, and I said, "Oh, that went down." I went to go eat the chicken she had on a plate. I couldn't eat it. I just, something ain't right here. And all of a sudden, that's when it hit. I got this pressure in my ears that felt like, you ever go swimming too deep in the pool and your ears really hurt? Imagine that 20 times, 30 times worse. It was so much pressure that I thought I was pulling on my ears like this. And I walked down the hallway, and my daughter was in her bedroom. I said, her and her boyfriend, I said, "Listen," I said, "I think I'm having a heart attack." She goes, "Dad, you just ran through the house like a nutcase." She goes, "That's probably what it's from." And I said, "No, it's not." I said, "I think I'm having a heart attack." And she called Pam. Pam said, "Call 911 now." So I went back on the couch, and I sat there. When I sat there, that subsided. That went away. Now my daughter's on the phone with 911. And it's snowing like crazy outside. There's 5 inches of snow. It's white out conditions. It was just a freak snowstorm on the 15th of March 31st, 2015. And she's calling. They said, "All right, we're going to get an ambulance there ASAP." And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. With that, now the pressure's gone in my ears, but now all of a sudden it feels like someone's got a blowtorch on my chest. Out of nowhere. I swear,
Wow.
when it feels like a blowtorch, it feels like a blowtorch. Like someone's holding it right here. And I'm like, my
really
chest
feels.
is on fire. And I'm across like this. I'm just sitting there on the couch like this. I wouldn't
Are
move.
the ears still hurting?
No, that went
it
away.
Went to the chest.
Went
now.
right to the chest. And I was sitting there, but nothing was locking up on me. Like my arms were fine. Everything just felt like there was a blowtorch on me. And then all of a sudden, that just went away. Now I'm sitting there like, okay, what's next, And it felt like forever for the ambulance. It took the ambulance 27 minutes to get to the house. So imagine sitting there for 27 minutes with what was going on. They come in. Now I feel fine. I feel like perfectly like just before all this happened. They come in, they put an EKG on me, and they said, "Can you walk to the ambulance?" And when I stood up, they said, "Sit back down." They brought the gurney in, they put me on that. They brought me out to the ambulance, they got me in the ambulance. They hooked me up with the EKG. And my daughter came out and says, "Where are you taking them, to Wayne Hospital or Bon Secours?" Which is in Port Jervis, New York. And they said, "We're not going there. We're going to Geisinger. He had a heart attack. They can't help him there." And he goes, "You better get in the ambulance right now because he's about to have another one."
So the blowtorch feeling was already one?
Was
already a heart attack?
Yeah. So we pulled out of there as soon as we got on the road. I guess they saw something on the EKG happening, and he said to me, open your mouth, I'm going to spray you with something. And I opened my mouth. As soon as he sprayed me, which I know today is nitro, I died. I got this head rush that came up through the back of my neck, and it hit me like right in the forehead, just solid, like boom. When that happened, that's when the fun began.
Yeah, that's like, wow.
It was like,
Fun.
I call it fun now
Well,
because
it's scary.
It's
I'm holding
amazing.
my breath listening to the story. Like,
It's like when I first died, it was like a photograph. I saw like pictures of as far back as you can remember. Not like, I don't know. Some people say they can see when they were 3 years old. I don't remember anything when I was 3, but I can remember stuff when I was 7. And that's what it seemed like when it started, like 7 years old. And it started like showing me pictures, and it showed me animals we had back then, cars we drove in, the camping trips, and it was just pictures after pictures after pictures. But then it started going faster and faster and faster and faster to where I couldn't see anymore. And then I woke up in the ambulance flipping like a fish. So I think it went faster because I was being shocked back. So I was coming back.
so this was the second heart attack now?
That was the second heart attack.
Second one,
Yeah,
okay.
that was the second one. I was like, I woke up, and the guy's like, oh, whoa, whoa. The whole 2 paramedics are holding me down. I go, we just brought you back. Just brought me back. And I said to him, why did you bring me out of my dream? They just looked at me like, what? You know? And then we were just heading back, and I can see through the back of the ambulance, I can see the exit signs, because we're on 84 now. And I can hear them yelling for life flight. He's going, get life flight, get life flight. And they're going, they can't fly. It's whiteout conditions. You just have to get there, they're saying. And I said, how much further we have? He goes, we got 50 minutes. I remember him telling me the time. We still had 50 minutes to get to the hospital. And then I passed out again.
15 minutes?
50.
50 minutes.
So
Oh
I
my
passed
God.
out again in the ambulance. I died again. That I don't recall much on that one. The second time. The third time, he had brought me back. We were all the way up by the Scranton exit almost. And I said, and this is how time passed, and I don't know what was going on during this time. But he says to me, we're 2 minutes away from the hospital. And when we got to the hospital, he brought me into the ER. We got there, and I see my car pulling up. He gets me in the ER, and he rushed me in. Dr. Greenspan, which, if he's ever watching this, he was the best ER doctor in the world. This guy, even after in recovery, came up to my room to check on me and says, you know, I'm glad you made it, because he says I was a miracle. You know, there's nobody should be here. But I told him when I got in the ER, I said, just don't let me die. And he goes, you're not going to die on my watch. So, and he kept his promise. And as soon as he said that to me, I died right in front of him. I said, I'm going, and I would tell them. The amazing thing was, I can feel it.
Cardiac.
I can feel it coming. Like, it's like this head rush. You ever stand up really fast? You go, whoa, you know? Imagine passing out, though. That's what it feels like. It's like a head rush, but 10 times heavier than that. It just feels like you know you're going out. There's no stopping it.
Do you think that feeling you're having there is the soul kind of trying to leave the body, or? I mean, that's what I'm.
I don't know what
kind
it was.
of when you said that. That's
I
what
don't
it makes
want
me
to feel it again.
I know, but you know, he says he feels this
I felt
something
it.
right here, just maybe trying to leave.
So what happened?
I never thought about that.
Yeah, could
That's
be.
just the first thought I would.
So
So you died right
I died right there, and
in
then when
front
I-
of him
they-
after he promised.
yep, and he shocked me back personally.
Personally.
And I looked down, and I saw scissors coming at me, and they were cutting my shirt off. And I remember the lady saying, I got a cath you now. She goes, there's nothing I can do. And then I died again. I guess maybe because I was just scared of the cath. I know, but I
Well, I
did.
hear those are
I
painful.
I was just dying constantly after that.
Yeah.
They brought me into the hallway in order to bring me up to the cath lab, and they let my daughter see me. And they told my daughters I wasn't going to make it. They just told them right out. And we got in the ambulance, and I'll tell you what happened there. I died, but I'll
mean,
tell you
you got in
what
the
people
elevator.
told me. Yeah, in the elevator. Yeah, do I say ambulance? Yeah, I got in the elevator on the way to the cath lab. I'll tell you what happened there because someone told me later on. But that's where I died finally. I thought I died finally. And when I went up, I went into a gray space. It's nothing but gray. You can't see below you is gray, all around. Just imagine this room being totally gray, and you can go forever that way, forever that way, forever that way. You have no sense of direction. No sense. There's no trees. There's nothing. It's just gray matter. That's it. But the funny thing is when you walk, it ripples out like this, and then when you stop, it sucks right back in that fast. So you walk, it goes, and then boom.
Wow.
And that's the first thing I noticed. And I'm like, you don't recall this down here. This never happened. You don't, which, you know, that's why we do EVPs in the field, and we always ask. I think you must totally have to pass over, because in that realm that I was in, I couldn't hear anyone here. I didn't even know who I was. I didn't know anyone. This, like I said, this world didn't even exist. It wasn't even in my head. It was just wondering where I was at. You know, and the calmness and the love that was around me. I wasn't scared. I had no sense of being scared or nothing like that. It was like I belonged there, like I was part of it. And so I looked down at my watch. I remember this watch was on me, but there was no face to the watch. The watch was
no time.
Yeah, no time.
blank,
So you can just see your skin. You just see your skin. The band's there, but there's no face. So that was another strange thing. So I just started setting a pace and going in one direction. I figured the best thing I do is walk a straight line, because I don't know where I'm at. And there's nothing there. And I started walking, and I started seeing these little... You ever saw the movie The Abyss? Anyone ever see the movie The Abyss?
I don't
Now,
remember.
if you ever get a chance, watch it. I think this was my mother, because my mother, when she passed away, just before she passed away, she had a shirt, The Abyss, on. And I have a picture of it with my daughter. And I think this was a sign telling me she was with me, because the figures that were walking past me were little kids about this high. I know there are little kids that are only this high, but they're all watery, and you can see their figure, but there's no eyes, there's nothing. It's just a watery figure. And they were running by constantly. But every time I went to go get one, like grab it, it would stay that same distance away from me. I couldn't get to it.
Never quite reach it.
You couldn't reach it. And then they were giggling, and that's how I knew it was kids. And I said to them, I said, why won't you talk to me? Come here. And they said, anytime something talked to me up there, it talked to me like a man and like used to were talking, like a man and female were talking at the same time, because you couldn't tell it was a man and female voice, male or female. And it was like a monotone, I guess I would say it was.
Wow.
And they said to me, we're not allowed to talk to you. And they giggle and they run. Well, I said, all right, enough of this. They're not going to talk to me. So I set off in what I thought was a different direction. And next thing you know, I came to wings, which were angel wings. How I knew they're angel wings is not the whole wing or the whole body of an angel, but the fingers, I call it the fingers, the bottom of the wings. You can see them moving like this. And they're all over the place. And there's all different sizes, small, large. So I guess that's the size of the person was, or whatever it is. And that's when... I just sat there for a while, and they wouldn't talk to me. No one would say nothing to me. I just see them. I just walk past them, and I could brush up against those. But when you try seeing who's there or what's there, there's no figures, just the fingers. And all of a sudden, everyone says, you see a bright light? Well, this wasn't a bright light. It was a dim light. And it came out, and it came like this, sort of like this at me, but imagine it like totally oval. And it came at me like this, and then it opened up, and there was a light behind that, and you can see this dark figure standing there, tall, dark figure. Can't tell if it was man or woman. And that's when it spoke to me. And it says to me, I come to you because you believe in me. You're a part of me, my kingdom. Let them all know I'm with each and every one of you. My love never dies. Now go. And I just turned around, and I'm like, where do I go? Because I have no sense of direction. So the only thing I could do is put that behind me, and I started walking, and next thing you know, I was in the cath room, and I can see the surgeons looking down at me, talking, but I couldn't hear them. And I'm like, why am I not hearing anyone? And next thing you know, I was back up in that gray matter again. And I started to walk again, and I heard, I told you to go. And I was like, I didn't ask to come back up here, I ended up, now I can hear the surgeons. I can see them looking at me. And they said to me, Steve, you can hear us. Can you hear us? If you can hear us, give us a sign. And I heard them, so I gave them the 2 thumbs up like this. And they all clapped. And I was in ICU for what? She says 8 days, but 4 days. But it was only supposedly, Anthony told me it was like 2 days. And they pulled the tubes out. I was totally, what do you call that word?
Intubated.
Intubated, where I couldn't even talk when I was in there. When I woke up, in ICU. I had the guys, everyone on our TV show was in my room. I don't know how they got into ICU.
Yeah.
And they had cameras on me. And they were filming me while I was waking up. And we have that footage. And I woke up and I said to my daughter, I wanted to write the message down. And I couldn't
Before you
talk.
forgot,
Oh,
yeah.
no, I just woke up, so I don't know where I'm at. I know I'm in a, recovery. I made it because I can see everyone. And Flip was right next to me. And I said to Flip, and I was trying to talk to him, I couldn't talk. And he goes, "You're all right, you can't talk, you got tubes in you." Well, yeah, 'cause I can't see. So my daughter comes over to me and I told her like this. She goes, "He wants to write something." The nurse says, "He can't write anything. He can't, he's so drugged up, he won't be able to write." She goes, "No, give him something." And I wrote angels on the paper and I handed it to her. And Flip just looked at it. I don't know who has that paper to this day. So I don't know if my daughter has it. But I gave that to her, and then Pam came walking in the room because Pam had drove all the way up from Gettysburg in that snowstorm, just to get there. And
My
she-
little PT Cruiser.
in her PT Cruiser, truck drivers were pulled over, and she was
I
still
was
there.
still chugging away.
So she got there, and then it was like 2 days. I was put into my room, and I got into my room, and all these cardiac surgeons came up, and they started telling me stuff. They're like, "Do you know you shouldn't be here? You're a miracle." And I'm like, "Well, what? Tell me what happened." And they're Dr. Lowen will be in soon. So Dr. Lowen comes in. He goes, "I'm Dr. Lowen." He goes and he shakes my hand. He goes, "How you feeling?" I said, "I feel all right." And he goes, "Do you know you're a miracle?" And I said, "Well, that's what I've heard." And he goes, "Before you ask me any questions, let me ask you something." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "What did you see?" And I said, "How do you know I saw something?" He goes, "Because the whole time I was in your heart, you were talking to me."
Wow.
And I said to him, what did I tell you?" He goes, "Just sit and rest, and we'll talk about it when you come visit me for your, after 3 months from now, and we'll go over. And then, right now, you just rest." Well, I got to his office, and he turned around and says to me, "I don't remember 3 months later." So that's what I want you to tell me now.
Exactly.
So I guess I'll never know what I said to him. But we went back, it was, 2 days, 3 days later? You're scared to death when you go home. I was dehydrated. I still get dehydrated when I talk. And we went back to the hospital twice. The first time I went back, one person told me I was shocked 19 times. And I said, "Wow, 19 times, that's a lot." And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, that's why he said you're here." Well, the second time I went back for dehydration to the hospital, this guy's behind the desk. And I walk in, he's like he saw a ghost. He's like, "You're the miracle man." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Do you know how many times you were shocked?" And I'm like, "Yeah, 19 times. "Oh, no." He goes, "I had to keep track." He goes, "I had to keep track from the time you leave the ambulance, find out their records, till the time you're done and go into ICU." He goes, "You were shocked 53 times.
Wow.
He goes, "Do you recall anything in the elevator?" That's what I was telling you about the elevator. I said, "No." He goes, "You were screaming out loud because they were shocking you while you were awake." And your body just locks it right out because I don't remember any of that.
Wow.
He goes, "You were screaming so loud it sounded like someone was murdering you." They burnt a hole right through my back here. They didn't graft it. They actually healed on its own from the shocks. I had pictures. I should put those pictures here. I had pictures of it looks like an iron on my back. So they shock you this way. And then they glued these shockers on my chest before I went up to the cath lab because they had to keep shocking me. And I said to the doctor, "Why did you shock me so many times?" And he says, "Because you kept responding." And thank God they did because I wouldn't be here.
Right, because they don't usually do.
3
they only
times.
do so many, and they
Yeah,
go.
3 times.
They call
3.
it.
Bring the other finger up. 3 times, he says, is where you get shocked. And if you don't respond after the 3rd time,
Well, thank goodness you are here and you have a message. And I was trying not to cry when you were telling me what I take it was God was telling you.
that's who I believe it
And
was.
I think it was God, and He told you to come back here and pretty much spread the word that right.
He's still here. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
watching every single one of you. And I'll tell you what, when I was up there, when I first got up there into that gray space, you're judged. I'll tell you right now. So you're going to be judged when you get up there. Because I felt like someone was watching me and they were judging me. That I did feel.
What do you think were the kids? What do you think they were?
I have no
The
clue.
kids that were giggling and
I just thought it was kids that passed probably because
Yeah.
I like doing a lot of stuff with kids for St. Jude and all that. Maybe that's we're
Yeah.
coming to thank or something. I have no clue.
well, the title of
Yeah.
your book has to be The Miracle Man, I think, because that's what the guy called you.
Yeah.
Are you
And
gonna
you
write-
definitely need to write a book. You need to write a book. You need to do you tour like I've told you. And in this field, we definitely need to hear these stories.
Positive.
That's
Positive
right. I'm
stories.
trying not to cry because there's so much. There's a lot of positive, but there's a whole lot of negative out
Right.
there, and people need to be inspired
Well,
by
that's
the story.
Susan,
and
that's another thing. I came back. I used to despise a lot of people in the field here
Mm-hmm.
because of the way they act and stuff like that. I acted wrong sometimes. I admit it. I'll be the first one to admit. I'm human. But I learned to change.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day when I worked with Brian Cano, he actually put a video out about our town, a FaceTime video. And he said right on there, it's time people, I don't pick sides. It's,
Mm-hmm.
I don't go on this side of the street or that side of the street. Because he actually said something about someone, and he didn't really mean it. And I know people, I want to get this out there, because I think they think that he did it on purpose or I put him up to it, and that's not true. He did not no one put anyone up to anything. He really adores the people that he was talking about. And I sat there. I said, "No, enough of this. Enough of this. Got to stop. We got to come together. We're arguing over stupid stuff, really stupid stuff, and we're acting like babies. And it's time for the field to come together and stop this because no one's getting anything.
We're
not getting anywhere.
Exactly.
That's
Could
right.
you
You know?
imagine if everyone was united in
it
finding
would be
evidence?
beautiful. And if people would, and people are so wrapped up in their egos and their,
Leave your ego at the
fame
door.
and-
Leave your ego at the door and your fame,
Right.
and come together and work together from now on. And that's what I'm doing. And I put that right on my Facebook wall. I said, I'm dropping my wall. I have no wall no more.
Mm-hmm.
And they believe me, they do. If they don't, they don't. I don't care. But that's the way I'm moving forward. I don't have
right.
time to play this. When you pass away, you don't have time to play the game no more.
Yeah.
Life is too short to sit there and fight with someone. You know what? And if you do pass away, you're going to regret it. Because you're going to regret later on, wherever
Right.
you go, that you didn't get to tell that person, hey, let's forget this. Let's become
Mm-hmm.
friends. So.
Can we run a little longer, Jazz? Just a few minutes? Okay. Yeah, I just had more questions. Did you guys have questions
Yeah, I
about
did.
what
I
happened?
did.
I know they have like a 2-hour drive home, so
Okay.
we don't want to hold them too long. But
Have
I'm just
you,
like,
or
I want
are
to
you
hear.
going to write a book about your experience?
I was trying to find someone that would write it. I'm not a writer.
I
The
think
message.
you should write it though.
Yeah.
You don't want
Yeah,
somebody. It's
I
not
think
going to be
so.
the same.
Maybe
I
just
want-
Come from
maybe
in
dictate
your
it and have
voice.
someone.
Well, that's
actually
what we
do
did.
the
We
thing.
have it all
Yeah.
down. It's just a matter
I
of
have,
someone
like,
pretty
the
much to put it
Important
out
points down when
Yeah.
he was recuperating. I actually was in bed, like taking his
Yeah.
memories and writing them down.
I think
I've
you
actually
should write
been
it in your voice
I've-
and then just give it to somebody to do like
Right.
check grammar, spelling, that
Right.
kind of thing. But I want to hear it out of how you say it, not somebody that's going to try to make it sound so uppity
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
It means so much more.
Well, that's why I try doing the cons. And this is what happens when you have animosity between groups. That some are doing the cons and they'll block you actually from talking. So I'm saying keep blocking me because I have a message that I'm supposed to get out there. And if you want to block me, you're the one that's going to get judged at the end because I've been up there.
Right.
So keep blocking.
Well, we're having
You're not blocking me. You're blocking the message.
we're having Paramericon March 4th. I know Pam's the guest of honor, but like if you wanted to come and speak, we'd love to have you come. And I think
I'm gonna be
more and more
doing-
people.
I-
You're gonna run the store, I know.
Yeah, I got Travis Bay of what is that con? Travis Bay Con. John.
Michigan, right?
Yeah, John's. What's
Cassidy?
John's? Cassidy.
And Jackie?
Yeah, and asked me to come up there, and they're going to put an ND panel together with certain other people. I think a couple of people have had them. John Tenney had one, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, so you're gonna be up there when she's at the Paramericon?
No, it's
No, no.
at a
Another
different
time.
time.
That's
yeah.
another time.
Oh.
It's in April.
I have to tell you, since we have a few minutes, because we've actually run past the hour, but I just wanted to say when you were talking about the pictures that were going by,
Right.
I have to tell you I had a near death, and I'm not going to tell all the details; it would take too long. But when I was 8, I almost drowned, and while I was going under, I had a reel-to-reel movie, a black and white reel-to-reel movie, and it was the frames were frames of my life, hugging my mom,
Right,
hugging my
exactly.
dad,
That's what it was, yeah.
same kind of. And but interspersed, and it was in black and white, and I was 8, so there wasn't that much to see, you know. And then, but interspersed among these pictures was the devil, and the devil was red with horns and a tail. And I'm 8 years old, and I'm seeing this. Well, actually, I didn't drown. You know, I came out,
Thank God.
but at 8 years old, I thought I'd been a bad little girl. And this is in my book that's getting ready to come out. I've written these stories already, but there's different books, so I don't know if it's going to be in the first book. But basically, when you're talking about the pictures flying by, that's what the movie was. It was going by, and then it was in black and white, and like it was counting down like 10. In our age group, did you ever see those movies when you were a kid? We made you watch it in class with them.
Yeah.
And it was a 10, 9, 8, 7, you know, and it counts down. But when I saw the devil in there at 8 years old, I thought if I had drowned, I was going to hell. And so at 8 years old, I threw myself into the church. And I became very, 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 I was in Sunday school, every club, I was recruiting, I was, you know, because I thought I was going to hell if I had died. And so until about 16, actually, is when I started having more, being able to see. The church wasn't as, I don't know, I lost faith in the institution of church at that time. But when you were talking about those pictures flying by, I'm going, yeah, that's what happened to me too. But yeah, it really scared me because I saw the devil.
I'll tell you something
and so
really
that's
quick.
why I'm such a goody two shoes now. I'm a goody two shoes. I really am.
See,
because I don't want to go to hell. And I've spent my life with that picture in my mind. And when I was 8 years old, I became 40 that day. You know, I was literally thought
sure.
like that.
That would be terrifying as a child.
And so,
Terrifying.
and then all the
something real quick.
paranormal stuff started.
See, this-
I think that was the crack. It cracked the door to the stuff that I've experienced my whole life.
Right.
This has brought me everything, and I'll tell you a story about this real quick. I was going through my second divorce, and I was moving out, and I went to one of the boxes to pack, and I found this cross in this box in our garage. I don't know how in the heck it got in the box. It was with other stuff of mine, and I still to this day have no clue what it was. And I've asked the family, you know, where I was living at the time. I said, "Is this your cross?" And they said, "No, it's not their cross." And I've wore it ever since. It's a Casablanca cross, and it's real gold and everything else. They're very expensive, and it's brought me like the best luck ever. I gave this to a friend of mine that was was dying of cancer, and I took it with me. He had no strength to go anywhere, and his family took him down to Virginia Beach just before he died. His name was Bill, and I did a cancer benefit for him in Milford, Pennsylvania. I threw a cancer benefit in 6 weeks with a couple of team that I put together, and the team was awesome. And the whole town donated food and everything. We had 7 bands there, and he got to dance and everything else, and he wore this till the day he died, and then they gave it back to me. But it brought him, I think, gave him energy and gave him the will to go and take the trip and make it through as long as he did. He ended up passing away, but
And then Anthony just wore it right before his surgery.
yeah, I didn't give this. No, Anthony has his.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
His St.
has his,
Anthony.
yeah.
Okay.
He has a St. Anthony, so I wanted to give it to Anthony, but I couldn't. They had to take everything off him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I swear by this thing. The only time I take it off is I go to bed, and I have to because I don't want to break the chain on it. But
Yeah.
We'll
definitely keep spreading the word, both of you.
it came to me for some reason. I don't.
Yeah.
No one's
Positivity.
ever said whose it is, but
Like
I
I
don't
said,
know. It's weird.
I think you guys, like you're doing already, but more and more, the more and more you're out there and spreading the word and more positivity and less negativity that's out there, just
I
let
just
that
want
just
all.
disappear.
I want all the drama to end. In the
Yep.
field. It's,
Life's too short.
And there's always going to be haters, I'm telling you. There's nothing you can do about it. We get dislikes on our shows, and I'm like, if you don't like it, just, you don't have to dislike it, So, well, it's been great talking to you guys.
Thanks
and
for
thank
having
you for
us.
coming all the
Yeah.
way from Gettysburg.
It was our pleasure.
We appreciate it. I would love to talk to you more, and I hear more about that. You've inspired me tonight. I'm trying not to cry because it gives you hope, And to hear the parallels in the stories, it makes me think I'm not crazy.
When you leave here, you do go somewhere. Your energy goes somewhere. Yeah, not one time when I passed away did I not know, not conscious. My conscience was always with me. It never. Even though I wasn't in the elevator or something like that. I was up there. So your consciousness, I kept talking to myself, kept thinking. That never went away. Never went away.
Yeah. Well, it's
So-
great, and it also probably enhances your abilities as an investigator because
It has. It truly has.
you know.
I hear people talking now.
Yeah.
Well, we were into the Crystal Wand, and I was with Bill Reap, and we walked in the Crystal Wand in Gettysburg, and we walked in there, and as you walk in the door, they have like a barrier partition there, and then you go into the store, and I heard a lady say something to me, and I walked in, and I said, the lady just said hello or something to us right here.
Iris,
and,
who we love.
and Bill,
Hi, Iris.
Yeah,
and
hi,
Bill,
Iris.
yeah,
I
Bill-
love your reading.
Bill looked behind the partition. There's no one there. There's nothing there. It's just a wall. And we went back. Pam and I went back in there, and I said, "Do you know you have like a woman in here that talks? You know, the spirit?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, we know."
Wow. I go in there all the time, but I haven't
I love the
experienced
Crystal
anything
Wand.
yet. Yeah, it's like my favorite
And
store
this.
besides y'all.
Yep.
This
Mine
recording,
too.
I mean-
Mine too. I love going in.
I get like the best CVPs now. I mean, it's like they
I think they're familiar with his vibration. They're familiar with his energy. They're willing to communicate.
they talk
Yeah.
to me. You know, I'll be walking by, I get these little messages. Someone will say hello or.
How about
this.
the face?
Oh yeah, that was just 2 days ago. Oh, yesterday actually. Wasn't even 2 days ago. We were sitting there in the store, and you know how my register is and all that. You looked out the front door, and in the bottom corner there was a Civil War soldier there with a beard, looking at us with I can't say what it's that cappy, whatever we call
It
it.
was a kepi.
Kepi hat with the cross things on it. Just looking at us, and I stopped talking to Pam. I go like that, and when the time she looked, it was gone. And I wonder if it's that guy that was talking on this.
Probably.
It was
Yeah.
broad
You definitely
daylight.
need to do an investigation.
Could
on that.
be.
We
Have
do. We have to
people-
have a
daylight.
mini investigation
Yeah,
at the Ghost
we'll come to
Exchange.
that.
Yep.
You can find out what his name is.
Yep.
We were told, we had people stand at our register and say to us, one lady, she really sat there and she goes, "Do you know you have someone in your store?" And we're like, and she's like, "He's right, standing right next to me. He's standing right here. He's a young teenage sort of guy." And she goes, "His name is Timothy." And she goes, "Oh, no, he just yelled at me. He wants to be called Tim. Don't call him Timothy." So we assume that's what his name is. We're not sure. He didn't tell us his name yet.
So, you guys have any last questions? We've run past our hour. So
No.
we could talk more and more, but I know you guys got to drive home. We're gonna skip some of the announcements tonight. We'll do them next week. But thank you guys for coming,
Thanks for having us.
and ladies.
you.
I said guys, but
Oh, it's
guys.
all right.
Thank you for coming. I really
She's one of
appreciate
the
you
guys.
coming.
She's on the team.
That's why. And I thank you guys for coming and driving here. We have people coming from as far as like 3 or 4 hours from here to come, like Marty and, is it
Marty, Marcia?
Marty and Marcia are coming on the
They're
August 27th.
amazing.
Yeah, they're
from
great.
New
They're great
Jersey.
people.
So we're going to skip some of the announcements that we had since we're going to run over. And I just want to say thank you guys for coming. And I'm going to just make a quick goodbye to everybody. So we had a few announcements. We're going to skip those tonight because they'll take too long to go over. But next week, our guest will be Real Life Paranormal Group. That's Brian Riggs, Donna Riggs, and Gail Cox. They were here before in the first half of the season. They had such great ratings that we wanted to bring them back, and they're going to talk about some places that they like to ghost hunt and bring some pictures and stuff to show their best evidence. So I've really enjoyed the show tonight, and I feel very inspired. And this has been the Evermore Paranormal Show. Peace out.